Welcome back to another Blu Ray update. I've got a number of films I've purchased in anticipation of watching them for the October Horror Challenge. For those of you that have followed my channel for some time now, for like the last 5 years, I've tried to watch 100 horror films in 31 days, and I'm going to try again. I have a plan laid out with selected movies, so hopefully I'll be able to pace myself and hit it. I'm trying to hit about 114 movies. That's at least what the plan says, but we'll see. So a lot of these are purchases that some of these I haven't seen yet. So like the first title here is Frontiers, 2007. This is another French extreme film. Heard a lot about it. I've never seen it. Looking forward to watching it. So I'll reserve my comments obviously till I do that. Watch the film, and then I'll post the daily reviews. This doesn't have any special features. I really wish this had a Blu-ray. I looked. Oh, I'm sure there's a Blu-ray somewhere for this, but I couldn't find one, so I just went with the DVD. It was pretty cheap. Next up is a Criterion film from 1968, Chronico, which is a Japanese ghost story. Black cats are involved. I have not seen it. It's a classic, and I haven't seen it. I'm really looking forward to this one as well. I may watch this one on the 30th. Technically, this challenge starts September 30th, the night of September 30th, and that's you. The month prior to October, there's a art challenge, and used to be Criterion challenge, and that's usually what you would do is watch a Criterion horror film the night of the crossover day. So I may watch this on the 30th. I'll let you know, but I will definitely watch it in October and then report back to you. This has an interview with the director. Of course, a new scan of the film, so it should look beautiful. Can't wait to check that one out. Next up is a film I haven't seen in maybe 20 years, and that's Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. I've got in my plan to watch Graveyard Shift 1 and 2 for the challenge, so looking forward to this Scream Factory release. Looks like we've got a number of special features, audio commentary. This is a classic film. Can't wait to check that one out as well. Next up is a film that I did check out, and that is a release of Bluebeard, this was a Scream Factory or Shout Factory limited release. Wow, this was really surprisingly good. Richard Burton plays Bluebeard, or essentially plays like this rich aristocrat that he marries all these women, and then he just, for whatever reason, decides he's tired of them and kills them off. It's a dark black comedy. There's some real funny moments in this. It kind of plays like a TV movie, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I give it a 7 out of 10. Unfortunately, this has no special features, but the film is good enough that I would recommend it anyway. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Good stuff. Interesting black comedy. Let's see here. Next up is a film that I didn't enjoy as much as I was hoping for, and that the Vestron release for Sundown Vampire in Retreat. I may have talked about this in a previous video. I'm not 100% sure. David Carradine plays a vampire, and it's as a kind of a cross between a Western and a vampire film, which is kind of an uncomfortable combination. It also is trying to be a comedy as well. So this film had a lot of ambitions, but unfortunately, I didn't think it was that funny. I think this is another film that if you saw it, when you were a kid, you probably have some fond memories of it. But I just don't think it was that good a film, and unfortunately, so bit disappointing. It's not bad, but it's just not funny either. I give it a 5 out of 10. This has a number of special features, including audio commentaries, which I haven't listened to yet. But yeah, that's kind of the only reason I really bought it was because I've started collecting all the Vestrons, and I don't want to lose track of getting them all. Next up is a classic Hammer film from Scream Factory, and that's The Reptile, directed by John Gilling. This is a great film. Great film. It was made in concert with another film that I'm going to talk about in a minute. John Gilling had a reputation as being a really kind of a tough, hard-nosed director, difficult to work with, but I think he did an excellent job in this. Yeah, the reptile looks good, but and there's a couple scenes where I think they stay on the makeup a bit too much, but for what they had to work with back in the '60s, I think it's excellent, and it's an interesting story. So I definitely recommend picking up The Reptile. This has a bunch of special features. I haven't checked them out yet. And then the other film, which was kind of a double feature back in the '60s, Hammer put out, was Plague of the Zombies, another John Gilling directed film that I think is fantastic. And in fact, I would go so far to say that if had Night of the Living Dead not been made, you're probably looking at the film that set the precedent for zombies going forward into the 20th century, into the future. There, I think it's a fantastic film. Great makeup, great story. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I think it gets superseded because Night of the Living Dead is such a unbelievable classic film. But this is a great film in its own right, and certainly deserves to be talked about when you talk about zombie films. I give it an 8 out of 10. All right, next up is a film that I've seen and I haven't. It's been another one. It's been a long time. I've got it on my October watch plan, and that is Daughters of Darkness from the early '70s. Kind of a Elizabeth Bathory type vampire film. This is the 4K release from Blue Underground. This thing is loaded, man. You got a booklet. You've got soundtrack, and then you've got the 4K and the Blu-ray. Nice release from Blue Underground. Does such a great job with all their stuff. So I definitely looking forward to checking this out in October. And then obviously when I post my daily videos, I'll give you my feedback on it. But as I recall, although it's been more than 10 years, probably 20 years since I've seen this puppy, it's a very good film. Next up is a film that I thought I've seen it maybe 5 years ago, loved it, and decided to give it a rewatch for the October Horror Challenge, and that's The Untold Story. I believe it's a Korean film, serial killer film. This is tough stuff. Well done. Fantastic film. Similar to, I think in terms of the impact, it's Henry, A Portrait of a Serial Killer would be an analogy to this one, or analogous to it. And then maybe Angst, which I think is even a rougher watch. But this has some real rough parts to it. Very violent, very, very well done. Excellent film. I liked it so much when I last saw it. I think I gave it 8 out of 10 that I decided to go ahead and buy the Blu-ray. It does have some special features, which I'm looking forward to checking out. But yeah, Untold Story, one of the best, I would say, certainly top 10 serial killer movies of all time. Excellent stuff. Then we've got a film, David Cronenberg's Son, which the whole world has seen, and I've not seen it yet. But I'm going to watch it in October, and that is Possessor. Sci-fi horror film, body horror film. This is the 4K release. So can't really speak to it. Haven't seen it. It'll be a blind watch for me. But when you get the daily videos of the October watches, I'll give you my thoughts. Next up's another film that I haven't seen it in a long, long time, and I really remember nothing about it, and that's The Ninth Gate. Roman Polanski's The Ninth Gate. This is on the watch list again, so really can't comment on it. But I've heard mixed things about it. but it is directed by Roman Polanski. I mean, it's got Johnny Depp. It should be interesting to watch, but I'll give you more specific feedback in October on it. And then finally, of my unwatched films, I've got teed up The Cure, which I've heard a lot about. Horrible reviews talked about it. It's a very disturbing film. And so looking forward to checking out this Eureka release for The Cure. It's supposed to be very, very good. Another South Asian film, Korean film. I don't think that... actually, this has got... So this is a Blu-ray... Oh, it's a Blu-ray DVD, yeah. Okay. And it's got a little booklet. So I'll let you know what... I'll let you know. You'll find out in October what I think of that one. And then a film from Fred Gallo, which kind of gets shit on, but I liked it. It's a Scream Factory limited release for Dead Space. This is a fun, kind of a remake of the Roger Corman Forbidden Planet, which is kind of a rip-off of Alien, which is everything's ripping off something today, but yeah, this is a fun outer space horror film with a monster. I mean, it's limited budget, but I think Fred Gallo did a great job with what he had to work with, and a limited time frame with which he had to work with it. I mean, it's a good, fun, solid sci-fi horror film with a decent looking monster. Definitely, alien-like, certainly. And then finally, a release that I hesitated to pick this up a long time. I only picked it up because it's going out of print, and that's the Scream Factory box set for the Human Centipede films. The second film really is disgusting. I mean, I've seen it, and I just thought, my gosh, why would I want to buy this and watch this? I mean... But it's going out of print, so it should retain some value. I've watched all three films and listened to the commentary tracks, and I'm glad I bought this. I have a new appreciation for Tom Six in particular, and these films in particular. I still think the second one is just, although it's supposed to be a black comedy, it's I just, the toilet humor to me, it's just gross. It's not funny to me. It's just gross. It's a tough watch as well. I mean, you've got rape involved. You've got shitting in people's mouths. I mean, it's just gross, really. The first film, I think, is excellent. It leaves a lot to the imagination, which I think is good. But the real reason I'm really happy I bought this was the third film. I love the third film. I love the third film as much as the first film. I think it's hilarious. And it's a great combination of the two lead actors from the first two films. They're running a prison, and then they decided to create this infinite human centipede with the prisoners in order to save money. I loved it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's breaks a lot of taboos. It's a film that with today's woke society, you gotta have you can't have you just couldn't speak or have dialogue the way this film has. And Tom Six just doesn't give a fuck. He really doesn't. And I listened to his commentary tracks. I have a new appreciation for his outlook on life and movie production. I think he's a cool dude. And I appreciate what he did with these three films. The second one, I don't like it, but I have a real appreciation for it, and I love the third film, and I love the first film. I think the first film's a great film. So yeah, that's the Human Centipede, Tom Six. Good stuff. The audio commentaries by Tom Six is, I think, worth the purchase alone, quite honestly. So that's the Human Centipede 1 through 3. And that's going to do it for this update. Again, I'll be posting daily videos starting October 1st. And hopefully I'll get through the whole month. Maybe there'll be a couple days I combine days. it's going to be tough to to keep up that pace every single day in October, because obviously, you know, life intercedes. You got things you got to do, events to go to, but I definitely plan on hitting the 100 films. There may be 1 or 2 days where I have to combine. I don't watch it as much as I typically would. Maybe just one film, so I may combine the videos into 2 days into one or something. But hopefully, I'll hit my plan, and I'll have daily videos posted, and just like every other year. So looking forward to it. And if you have any comments about my purchases, put them in the comments below. Appreciate you watching. Thanks.